What's up, you guys? Sean Ross at Fightful.com here with a couple names you know. You're knowing them even more. Right now, it's AEW Double or Nothing weekend. I don't know when this will drop. I'm not home. We got Griff Garrison. Hey. We've got Brian Pillman. We got Sean Ross Sapp with the best hair of the three. I remember when you were but a hair infant. I remember when me and you were walking around with like goofy looking hair. What is it, 3 or 4 years ago?
Yeah. I mean, shoot.
And now here you are.
Skater hair. I had a skater haircut when I was a trainer last storm.
Yeah.
Just a mom.
That's so what, dude. Yeah, I had it too in high school. Huh?
So I mean, like just talking about the last 4 years. What about the last year? You guys are on pay-per-view tomorrow night as we film this. How's that feel, like being in a match like that? And I mean, I know that you've been in some high-profile stuff before, but Griff, how is this feeling for you, knowing that you're going to be on a big-ass pay-per-view like this?
It's very exciting knowing that I've only been a part of AEW for right at a year now, and we've gotten all these great opportunities so far, and to be able to perform a Double or Nothing and a chance to be the #1 contender for the world title, or it's a dream come true, man. It's amazing.
And Brian, I mean, you obviously when you come into wrestling, you've got some pretty high expectations, and a lot of times people don't fulfill those expectations. And I loved your line in Dark Side of the Ring when you were like, well, if Brian Pillman Sr. didn't want me to follow in his shoes, he wouldn't have named me Brian Pillman Jr. How do you feel that you are able, how do you feel that you're managing those expectations so far? Do you feel like you've matched it, exceeded it, or?
I definitely think early on there was a lot of eyes on me. There was YouTube. Every match was being posted. MLW hired me just like 2 or 3 months into my career. So there was a lot of spotlights and a lot of magnification on me early on. And I think I made my mistakes and I think I learned from them. But I think the way the timing worked out with how I developed and then when I arrived at AEW was just pinpoint. I think at that point I was meeting all the expectations. I was checking all the boxes. The hair was in shape. I was in good shape. I showed up, I believe it was July of last year, July 1st and 2nd when I came in and had my first extra booking here, and then Griff maybe a loop before that. So we both arrived around the same time, and I went out there with Sean Spears and Brian Cage the following night, and there was nothing but praise about how Matt Hardy described me as being polished, being ready to go. So I definitely think that there was some stumbling and there was some. So I was a little rough around the edges starting out, but we all are. But nobody else has that microscope on them from the first day they're out there. But hey, I was 2 months in, and they wanted me to play a character on MLW and be a part of that new Hart Foundation. So I just it was either sink or swim, and I think we made some great stuff with it. I think it helped me develop into the person I am today. And a lot of people they ask me, they're like, oh, how long have you been wrestling? Well, I haven't even been wrestling 4 years yet. So we're coming up on 4 years, December 31st of this year. So I
mean, as I mentioned, like 4 years ago, we were literally meeting at an NXT event, and you're like, "Yeah, I'm about to go start training."
Yeah.
I was like, "That's wild." And we've seen sort of your exposure since then from MLW and all that stuff, but we've also seen your exposure on BTE and vlogs and stuff like that. How much did you feel that helping your profile initially?
Oh, it helped me a bunch. Like the very first time I was on a podcast the other day, just talking about it. The very first time I was here was when we did the Who the F is Griff Garrison on BTE with Brody and John Silver, and I give them so much credit for that, because I think without that I wouldn't have gotten kick-started as much as I did, and so I literally owe them this, like my push, everything we've gotten. So it's great.
And that darn Sammy vlog. I mean, we're at the meet and greet here, and every other fan was like, "Oh, I've seen you on Sammy vlog. I love it." I'm sitting there thinking, like, well, goddamn, why don't I get on?
You gotta get on the vlog.
I'm over there, everybody else getting.
Come join the boy band, man.
Right?
You gotta get that vlog money.
I'm always like, "Hey, hit me up," and then they start filming late. And I'll drive home in 10 minutes when I go to bed.
Sammy doing those TV bonuses. You getting that extra money? You get that monetization money?
I wish. No,
he's got to send you. He's got to send you the YouTube analytic report once a month.
That's why I've been apprehensive. I'm like, wait a minute, this is free labor.
So I mean, you got a lot of comparisons to Jungle Boy because of your hair. Yeah. He says he just uses Kirkland brand shampoo. What do you use?
Well, I recently just got off 2-in-1, and I actually just started using that myself.
Kirkland?
Yeah.
Well, okay. What are you rocking with?
That was Kirkland.
Kirkland is the Costco brand.
Jesus, really?
Yeah.
Why? Why are you using?
Dude, why would I not?
You guys are on cable and pay-per-view.
It's cheap.
I use Salon blue shampoo.
He gets his hair cut by Brad Armstrong's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah, I'm using top of the line, so my shampoo and my conditioner and and my curling cream was $100.
My God.
And then the color was $125, and then the haircut was $40.
Okay, well I beat you on the coloring because mine was only like $70.
So yeah, there are people that have mullets, and there's people like you had a vision for your mullet.
This has been, I mean, and think about it. Ever since I've started, since my first match, I've had
you workshopped it. You workshopped a mullet.
Yeah, I started this whole trend. Start seeing these mullets popping up everywhere, and I'm like, I started this trend. Like, I swear to God.
Did you have anybody as is your sister saying? Is your sister saying, no, don't do that?
No, that's the thing. I never ever asked for anyone else's opinion, and I just did what I thought was the vision. And even going into pitching the Varsity Blondes, I asked two people, and I won't name them. I will not name these people. I asked two people in AEW that are very prominent figures what they thought about the name Varsity Blondes.
Yes.
And they both relatively said the same thing. Oh, that's stupid. You're wrestlers. You're not football players. And I said, you know what? Fuck it. I'm pitching them anyways.
Yeah. Speaking of,
here we are.
Let me tell you how confused I am by his football allegiances. Now I understand. Okay, your dad played for the Bengals, but he also roomed with a guy who was pretty instrumental in the Ravens. So you were on field a lot with them. What's your team? Are you a Jags fan now? Like what?
Hey, I don't know.
How's that work?
Well, for the sake of where I work, I'll say they're my second favorite team. I'll say they're my second favorite team behind the LA Rams. I'm a big LA fan. Lakers, Dodgers, Rams.
I'm a fair weather fan. I'm living in Jackson, Duval County.
All right, I like Trevor Lawrence though. I like Trevor.
I'm gonna go sit in the box. I'm gonna go sit in the box.
I like Urban and Trevor and Tebow.
Sorry Bengals, sorry Ravens, but those ships have sailed. I am now Duval all the way.
So we've seen Julia Hart added to your all's group too, and as soon as I saw it, I was like, what a natural fit. How's it been with her?
She's been great. She's fit right in. She's came and just literally done her part in the group and just fit the role so perfectly. Like we couldn't have asked for anyone better.
She just fell into our pockets. I mean, it's like if somebody dropped a pot of gold, at the end of the rainbow.
And it was literally
just landed right in the locker room.
We literally got our jackets made. I think the same time she debuted with us too. So
I ordered these jackets like months. Like it takes months to make a real custom leather varsity high school jacket. So I ordered these several months ago, and then the guy's like, "Oh, we got all the fabric, everything's coming in. They're going to be ready this week, right before the taping." And that taping, she showed up for extra work. I think it might have been her second week there.
Yeah.
But I went over and I was like, "Shit, she's already wearing blue.
Yeah.
She's already blonde. Actually a former two-time national champion cheerleader." And I just went up to Cody. I was like, "Look, we just got these jackets. I'm not asking for pyro or anything crazy, but can we get this girl to do a couple round-offs, a couple backhands, just for our entrance? Like, we don't have to have her in the match, just for the entrance." And then, okay, let me. It sounds like a great idea. Next thing you know, we got people helping us choreograph an entrance. We got people agenting our match, helping us incorporate her into the team, and it's all of a sudden this collaborative effort, which is what's so great about AEW, is that when people see something, they see a spark, they don't want to go put it out for fear of other people succeeding. They want to ignite that fire. They want to add some timber to the flame, and that's what happened. Our agents, our coaches got together and helped us put this together. Because all I had was a little idea. I didn't know how it was going to look in the end, but that's what our veterans were here to do, to help us put it all together.
That's one of the things that I noticed so much about the AEW environment. Like you probably still hear it in the background, but I'll go to some other companies, you'll hear some heckling and stuff like that. I don't hear that here. I mean not a part of the show heckling. You know what I mean? People here seem like they're along for the ride. Even if they like MJF's work, they boo him. They're like, oh, that's how we're gonna do it. You'll hear Britt Baker get that initial pop, and then they're like, we want to boo her. They've embraced you guys, and the audience loves you guys. I had mentioned I got sent a little bit of a sneak clip of the pop you guys got. How does that feel? You've had limited fans, but now you guys are seeing what you all have worked so hard for coming to fruition.
Yeah, I was even a little skeptical about it before we went out, and I was like, I don't know, I think we're gonna get a little pop, it's gonna be there, but I just didn't know. And then Brian, he's right beside me. He's like, dude, watch this. And then you hear the rawr, and then here come the Varsity Blondes, and and I was just totally blown away.
Believe you, we got it.
And it was huge, man. It was so nice to finally feel fans back in there, man. There was so many. It was 1,500. I think.
It's hard to describe. It's we've had a lot of success with the artificial crowd and having the boys out there. And again, we don't tell them specific stuff. We like to have them react organically, but sometimes it's still a little too much where need the genuine reactions in the match. You need sort of that lull, and you need that down moment when you're down in the heat and maybe things are a little slow, just so you know where the crowd is. But when they're always there and they're always pushing, it's hard to pace a match. It's hard to really feel that energy.
Yeah.
So when you're out there and the crowd's really buzzing, really hot, well, let's just give them everything we got, and then every little bit of effort that we make, every little bump we take, feels that much better, so much more rewarding.
Are you all gonna miss Austin and Colt Gunn front row? Are you all over with them?
Do you know what happened with Austin?
I mean, I know he got hit with the old pant shitter punch, and that's a wrap for 8 to 10.
Yeah. So yeah, he's not gonna be back for a while.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to get hit with that punch.
Yeah,
I see a lot of people that are like, "Hey, man, the gut punch." And I'm like, we call it the pant shitter punch for a reason. It hurts really bad.
Well, you've done some boxing and stuff too.
Yes. The first time I got hit by a pro boxer with a body punch, I was like, you know what? I'm going to sit out the rest of this round. That's going to be a wrap. Especially if you don't anticipate it or see it coming, and I don't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'll give it to Anthony. I mean, he's an incredible athlete, obviously, an Olympic boxer and stuff. But I'll even tell people in the back, I'll say, hey, like that's great and all, but this is pro wrestling.
Yeah.
You know, this is pro wrestling. This is something that a lot of us here, a lot of these athletes have wrestled 10, 12, 15, 20 years just to make it. I'm not talking about the Matt Hardys and the big vets that have been in charge. I'm talking about the guys that have grinded on prior to making it. And Anthony Ogogo wants to come in here with 6 months to maybe a year of training, and then all of a sudden he's this big shot. I'm like, that's great. You can throw hands.
Yeah.
But then you work a hold. You know, can you take people down? I think you have takedown defense. Like, are you going to put somebody's shoulders on the mat? And that's the thing. I think this is professional wrestling, and that's great that he's a great boxer and a great striker. But he's getting in the ring with one of the best wrestlers of our generation right now with Cody Rhodes. So I don't know. I'm backing Cody on this.
I think I am too, just because I think if Cody can find a way to get him on the ground, he's done, because he's not going to out wrestle him anyway.
The old Randy Couture, James Toney approach. Shoot the low single and maybe it'll work. So you guys are still young in your career. I want to let you all shape your destiny. What do you want the headline of this article to be? If I were to write a clickbait title.
I mean, you're talking to the future AEW tag.
Yeah, future AEW tag team champs, question mark?
Maybe just sit down interview with the future AEW tag team.
One time I asked Hornswoggle what he wanted the title to be, and he looked square at Ethan Page and he said, Ethan Page will never make it in the wrestling business.
Wow. Well, I say he's doing pretty good for himself.
He's doing all right. He got signed after that. But Griff Garrison, Brian Pillman Jr., Varsity Blondes, thank you all so much.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Until next time, guys, we're out.